All right, welcome to another episode of the Exertis Almo ProAV Podcast. My name is Jordan Friday, and with me today, we have Jennifer Fisher? Is it Jennifer Fisher or Jen Fisher? Which one would you rather? Jennifer Fisher.
Yeah.
All right. We don't know each other that well yet, but soon. From the amazing Almo team, representing LG as one of the BDMs over there. And today we're going to be talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is digital signage. So I absolutely love digital signage. I've always been interested in digital signage, and I'm sure Jennifer, going into LG, that is, that's obviously something that's going to be same thing for you, that it's just interesting. So
my world too.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and probably more your world than my world, but so you with me today, like I said, we're going to be talking about all things LG, specifically in the way of touch displays and specifically the One Quick that we have back here. LG One Quick. I'm so excited to have it actually in-house, which is really great.
Yeah.
So I just
want
to
cool product.
It's an amazing product, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think we really should just sort of go over, and I'd love to know your input on this. It's like, what do you think, what do you really think are the important sort of points that people need to know about just touch screens in general? I think everybody sort of knows the basic concept, but sort of what sets LG apart in the way that they approach touch screens and touchscreen digital signage in general?
Well, touchscreens in general, by themselves, usually require a separate PC that's either hooked up USB or serial to interact with, which has always been kind of the case in a corporate environment where they want to keep a standard of PC. So a lot of times people just want touch panels and want to hook up their own computers to them that sit on their own networks. What's different about some of the products that LG offers is that one of their touch panels, a 55-inch, actually has a processor on board that allows it to be digital signage and then also an interactive touchscreen if somebody walks up and touches it. Perfect example would be like a bus or a train station where it's showing signage, and then somebody may want to know what the transit line is, and they can go up and touch it and get that information, or find out when the train's arriving, that sort of thing. The One Quick series takes it another step, which kind of differentiates it from anybody else out there in the marketplace with the One Quick series, in that it's actually got an AMD processor, 8 gigs of RAM on it, and runs Windows IoT. So in essence, it's actually a computer.
And the One Quick works. We've actually been really excited to have it in house to be able to use and just have as another display that we have lots of displays here, but we just use it in sort of a different way.
Right.
It's really cool. We had some people come into the office and they were like, "Hey, we need a whiteboard." And instead of, just grabbing one of the traditional ones without having to do anything special, without having to do anything crazy, literally just turn around and, grab one of the pens and start collaborating. And I think that's one of the real interesting things about the One Quick Works is that, and just like you're saying with it being a computer, is that, and we'll definitely, dive more into that functionality in a little bit, but that is one of the cool parts about it, is that it's like so many times we have a specific, we'll have the screen, we'll have the microphone, we'll have the speakers, we'll have all these different things, and you have to have a computer, and somebody is going to be providing that computer. It's either going to be something that's in the room already, or it's going to be somebody's laptop, and now, I want to share my screen to do that, but then we can't connect that to the whiteboard functionality, and it's this whole mess. So The nice part about to me about the Works is that it's great for spaces where it's like this, we need to collaborate right now. This is not necessarily a presentation type of display per se, where that's its entire focus. This is really for collaboration.
Yeah, and it comes with Microsoft Whiteboard pre-installed on it, so that's what makes it slick, is that you can just walk up to it and start doing that collaborating, and also annotate and save your information and share it right from the screen without having to install anything else.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so I really want to ask this question of you, is that why, I mean, obviously there are lots of ways to collaborate, but can you explain to maybe some people that are just more used to just, presenting in their conference rooms, what are some real reasons why meeting rooms need, why do they need to be collaboration spaces, would you say, from the way that you've seen people use LG products? Why do meeting spaces also kind of have to be collaboration spaces nowadays?
Well, because you've got so many different people in so many different locations. I mean, our world has changed with people. I mean, working out of offices, working out of homes, working out of restaurants, whatever. And so people need to get together on the fly, and that's why we have Microsoft Teams, Zoom, all that kind of thing. So you need to be able to bring in people quickly into a screen, be able to video conference, and be able to share information, whether it's through touch, through the whiteboarding, or just simply sharing documents all in one space. And everything needs to kind of work together. So, excuse me, the One Quick takes all of that and pulls it into one piece of equipment with one power cord and one connection, and can pull multiple people can tie into it and meet, simply because it already has preloaded apps on it, like your Zoom and your Teams and all that kind of stuff. And actually, I can give you a whole list of those when you're ready.
Yeah, no, hey, let's just jump into it, because I think this is a really powerful piece, is the amount of, pre-installed software and stuff where you're not having, I mean, sometimes we'll have IT, come in, brand new computer. It's like they've got this whole deluge of things that they have to install from the very beginning. Yeah, before it's ever even ready.
Yeah.
So
What's nice
tell me about
this
that.
Is they don't have to image it, because they could just go ahead and install it. And what's already loaded on the launcher board when you turn the thing on is you've got, Microsoft Teams, Skype, Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet, One Quick, which I'll talk about in a second. The Microsoft Store, which you can actually pull up if you have a Microsoft account, which most of us do. Netflix, Prime, Spotify. It also has Microsoft Whiteboard on it with screen capture, Groove Music, and Chrome.
Wow.
So all you have to do is crank these on and log into your accounts, and you're up and running. And with the Windows IoT Pro, you're in a secure environment as far as your IT guys go. The other thing that's really nice about it is that, and I don't know if we want to jump right into this, but is that it's a hang and be done situation. You don't have extra cameras, extra microphones, any other hardware that needs to be added to the display to get it up and running correctly, which also reduces your points of failure significantly.
Guaranteed.
And with LG on a 3-year warranty, if there is a problem with it, we can just get an RA, send it back, and get it replaced.
Yeah, I just want to show everybody, through the magic of or through movie magic, I was able to move the display a little bit closer here. One of the really cool things, like Jennifer was saying, is that you can if I just hit the camera button right here, automatically it's going to pull up just the normal camera app. But as you can see, the camera just flips up. It's all already built in. So sort of gone are the days of having to worry about, is the camera on? Can they see us? Do we know? It's like, if the camera is active, the camera has been flipped up. Like, I don't even think it's possible to shut it off. So it's like, if it's in, camera mode, if you've turned the camera on in Teams or in Skype or just in the native camera app like this, you can turn it on and then it'll automatically flip back down. It's just, it's one of the really cool innovations that I love about this display. It's amazing.
The other thing that's really cool about that camera is that panel does portrait. So you can rotate it on the fly, even on a call, and it will readjust properly for recording video, which I think is really slick if you have a rotational mount. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and and I think this tripod probably could have, but yeah, we won't test it right here. But
those mounts, most people don't buy those mounts. They're a little expensive, but if you used it in a desktop application, it might work pretty well.
Totally. So
or it comes with a stand that has a rotation on it in the 43-inch.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. That's definitely true. Yeah, and I just really want to highlight too the way that the beamforming microphones work. So you'll notice, I don't know, you probably can't notice from this far away, but there are microphones on this side and microphones on this side and up at the top. And what's cool about it is that obviously that allows you to be able to be heard from anywhere in the room, but then also in auto framing mode, what it allows you to do is be able to say, okay, this specific person is talking, and automatically flip the frame of the camera to whoever it is that's talking, which is really an interesting way of doing it.
That's actually, go
Go ahead.
That's actually becoming something that's becoming industry wide. I think is pretty cool. First of all, the 55-inch has about a 6 meter distant range on it as far as the mic pickup, and then about a 3 meter on the 43. But in the industry, being able to move the camera to whoever's speaking is kind of becoming a standard. That's pretty incredible technology.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I couldn't agree more. And just overall, like I said, this display, I just, with the mics also, and, has two really, really nice speakers inside. We were listening to music earlier. It simplifies an entire meeting from having to go, I think we've all been, sort of been there, gone to a meeting in a unfamiliar conference room. And it's like, okay, I need to do a Teams call. It's like, okay, well, did you plug the camera in? It's like, what camera? It's like, that camera. And they have to try to figure that part out.
Panic sets in, like, is this going to work?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But that's the great part about this is that it's like when you integrate everything into a single display, you don't have to worry about that. It's just not something that you have to worry about at all. It's all built in, all works together. It's
all pre-loaded, ready to go right out of the box.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a really great display overall in that regard too. So let's talk a little bit too about, you want to talk about the computer functionality. I know we touched on it a couple of times, but some people may not sort of fully be familiar with the whole concept of an all-in-one. So you want to just highlight that a little bit more?
Well, it's got an AMD processor in it and a Windows operating system, an enterprise-based operating system in it. So most of your displays that are all-in-one have a different type of Android systems and that sort of thing. So this not only allows it to be completely secure from an IT perspective, which is really critical, but it allows it to be able to run all these applications as you would a computer plugged into it. So.
Yeah, I think one of the really great parts about this is that you don't have to use it in any particular way. If you're the type of person that really wants to, install your own software, do very specific things, obviously, like I said, it being a fully fledged Windows computer, where you can log into Windows if you want to, you can do that. But like I said, in a lot of ways, you actually don't really need to. So much of it is right here and, down at the bottom. And the bar is fully customizable. So if you do install software that you want people to use, you can actually customize what is on the bottom bar and be able to launch it from there. So you sort of get the best of both worlds in that regard, right?
Yes, exactly. Plus, it already has most of your stuff preloaded that you would use for collaboration. I mean, it's not meant to be really a full-blown, office-based product, but it's already got like Netflix and Prime and all that stuff preloaded into it as well. So, but definitely a collaboration piece.
Guaranteed.
One more thing, if you don't mind, is the LG also shares a button that plugs in USB for any laptop users in the room that allows them to instantaneously cast up to the screen content off of their laptop and work both ways.
Guarantee. Yeah. And I think that is also a really cool part is that it's like, I think, again, a lot of people have probably had issues where it's like, it's not seeing it. It's not seeing my computer. I don't know why. I'm trying to cast to it. It's like, this sort of takes the headache out of that by just plugging that directly into the device that you have and then being able to cast. It's already going to be able to connect to this display. They're made to do that. And I love that entire concept. That's a great one for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the individual, sort of talk about the individual elements of why this though, because there it's possible there are other all-in-one displays out there, but specifically why this one, would you say specifically?
Well, from my perspective, coming from the IT space and in my background, definitely security is a big deal, especially in an enterprise setting. You've got a bunch of huddle spaces that you need to do and roll out. You're already set up with that Windows IoT. The other thing, as far as a cost perspective goes, is that you're not adding a bunch of additional pieces and parts. I mean, a lot of times when we sell displays, people are looking at just the price of the panel. and they're not looking at, the mount, the speakers, the microphone, the cost of installing all these pieces and parts, the cost of adding additional power supplies even, and running, all the plugins to it. Then when you get down to troubleshooting, you do have a bunch of people sitting there in a huddle space, and stuff doesn't work. It's like you really have gotten rid of all of your points of failure in one piece. And you can just go straight to LG, who has phenomenal support, and get a tech on the phone right away to help troubleshoot it. So from an overall return on investment or cost of ownership, it's a really good bang for the buck from a value perspective.
Guaranteed. Yeah. Being all in one and having, like I said, everything built in where it's like, it's all compatible. It's all, nothing, it all works right out of the box. But then also, I mean, from what I understand, you guys have a pretty solid, if the worst should happen, you guys have a pretty solid warranty program as well, correct?
The warranty is a 3-year warranty. So your first step is always going to be to contact LG support, which all you need to do is go to the LG.com site, click support, and you can either log a call with either through email or give them a call and automatically get an engineer or somebody to help you troubleshoot through it. And if there is a problem with it, they'll issue an RA and you can go back to your distributor, which if you bought it from Exertis Almo, that would be us, and we'll hot swap it out for you. Or you can just call Exertis Almo and we'll take care of doing it for you because that's part of our value add.
That sounds great. That sounds awesome. Exactly. So as I think these, like I said, this has all been a great conversation. So let's close sort of with, obviously they're pretty much any type of collaboration space could take value in this, but
from this, yeah,
of course, but maybe you could talk a little bit about like who really could use this, to its absolute full potential. Like what are some potential applications that you could see for the One Quick Works specifically?
Well, we had a deal or a bid come through for these actually, which kind of caught my attention. It made total sense for a really large financial investment firm that's got multiple locations all over the place. And they were looking at using them kind of sort of as a desktop collaboration type of thing. And their IT department really wanted to get rid of having to add all these different pieces and parts as part of their installation. And that's what got me thinking about it. I think the other thing too is we've got some of the big companies down in, Silicon Valley and that sort of thing. As people are coming back to work, the huddle space environment really is kind of the new culture in the office. There's great furniture and comfortable spaces, and people just need to be able to get together, a few people at a time, get together and be able to work and collaborate and then leave and go about their way. And so a product like this is extremely easy to put into one of those types of spaces and be up and running in no time at all. So I think we'll see a lot more of that deploying into that corporate space. But it's also, even if you have a small office and you've got guys out in the field and you guys need to talk about a job going on, it's a perfect way to do that. So it's not really limited by enterprise. It could be used, it could be used in an elementary school. Really great for that. The 43-inch stand that comes is actually a little rolling cart, and it's really cute, actually. But it'd be ideal for some of the kids, and they could just roll it around, use this thing, and all you've got on it is a power cable. You don't. It's got Bluetooth in it, so you could actually, roll it around the classroom and turn it and rotate it and run your lesson plans on it. Without any issue. So that, the uses for this thing are kind of endless in that regard. So it'll be interesting to see how this rolls out, because I think that's one of the things with it from a sales perspective is that people just haven't really got the whole concept of what it really entails as far as the processor, the security, all preloaded and one simple piece to install. And that's really something to consider when you're looking at the price point as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think if you were to try to buy all of those things, especially with the functionality of each of them, it's like, okay, we want a camera with beamforming microphones to be able to do auto framing. We also need, solid speakers to be able to, for everyone to be able to hear. We want the touchscreen, but we also want a computer as well that's Windows based and is relatively secure. Beefy. It's like insecure. It's like you're going way down the weeds for all of that. And then if you want to try to, that's the other thing that I really want to stress too, is that this is scalable. That you can deploy this, especially in stuff where you need it quickly, where it's like you can deploy these things so fast and be able to, to say across the board, across all of our huddle spaces, we have one of these in each one. And we have our collaboration in room, and then our either Teams or Skype calls, Zoom calls, all handled without having to buy a bunch of other stuff. This is right out of the gate. It works.
And not having to image it, not anything. I mean, it's pretty simple. So it's I'm hoping it catches on and people get that. And that's really what I wanted to talk about on this call today was, from an IT perspective, that this is really a good bang for the buck.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, once you start looking at all the pieces and parts,
Absolutely. And, and then, I mean, there's so many different people that, like you said, so many different types of organizations that can use this. Obviously, works in corporate, does work in education as well. I mean, design houses. We even threw a 3D through a web-based 3D program. We wanted to see, how it's got, like I said, Ryzen processor in there with Vega graphics. We were curious. It's like, what can this do? Yeah, look great. Look great,
you got you got a great 4K display from one of the leading manufacturers in the world. So
exactly, they've been around a little bit to be able to do this. They know what they're doing at this point.
A little bit.
I know, not exactly new players anymore, but
but it's pretty innovative. I mean, actually, as a BDM for LG, this product came out this year a couple months ago, and it's actually a really innovative product. And I was asking our rep about how did you come up with this? And it really came out of, the COVID situation and the need for people to be able to work together from all these different locations. So I think that's our new workspace and what it looks like. So I think it'll be a great product for that. Yeah.
Totally. Yep. Well, Jennifer, it's absolutely good stuff. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about, like I said, about the One Quick Works. And just as a personal aside, it's like, I can't get enough of using this thing. I wish we didn't have to send it back. I wish it could just sort of be lost off the truck for us. But it's
just, say, hey, we always keep forgetting to send it back. Sorry.
I know.
I've done that before.
Oh, well, I'm not going to do that. Definitely. Just like, hey, these things are in demand. You guys are going to need more demo units out, which is really cool. So so if, again, thank you so much. It's been great. Where can people find you if they have questions about this and other LG products?
Well, you can go to exertisalmo.com, and my email address is jfisher, no C, fish, ER, at almo.com, and I'd be happy to talk to you.
Well, thank you again, Jennifer, so much for this. This has been a lot of fun, and we got to talk again. We can't be strangers.
All right. Thank you, Jordan.
This has been another episode of the Exertis Almo ProAV Podcast. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact your Exertis Almo representative. They're ready to help.